everyone, welcome to the show. Today is Thursday, February 7th, and we have 520 days left to go in Mark's U.S. prison sentence, and we have under a week to go until Mark's birthday, February 13th. It's going to be on Wednesday, is Mark's 55th birthday. So I don't know what he'll get in prison for that. Maybe some of his fellow inmates might give him some chocolate bars or something, even though he doesn't eat them. But maybe you can send him a card or a letter and just a little note to lift his spirits in the last third of the sentence. And it's kind of tough to get through, but we're making it. And we have new photos from our recent visit on the 12th and 13th of January, and they've brought back the beach. So we're gearing up for summer fun in Yazoo City Medium Security Prison down at the water. And we've had a lot of fun, as you always know from our pictures. We try and spice it up a little with cute little kicks in the air or some sort of different pose, but it's definitely fun just to be close to each other. And this dress here with the long sleeves and the turtleneck, I even got measured with a ruler for that dress to make sure it was allowed in. They tried to tell me no skirts above the knee, and I said federal regulations say within 2 inches, and so they pull out a ruler and it was 1 inch, and so I got to get in and visit Mark in that dress. But that was a little bit of an exciting twist to the visitation routine. And Mark sent me in advance, I just got this beautiful card. Valentine's Day is going to be next Thursday, and he sent a Valentine's card that he helped with the wax and making it up. And it's got these beautiful flowers inside and says, "Only you, dearest Jodie, have my heart. You are everything to me. I need you, crave you, lust for you, admire you. I always want to be the one you desire. All my love forever, Boo." And that's a reminder I need to send Mark a Valentine's card. So put that on my to-do list coming up. But that's super sweet, and I sure have a beautiful collection of wonderful messages of love and support. And he's getting me through it, and I'm getting him through it. And we're both getting through this all because of your support out there. And Mark got published in the province newspaper last Friday. It was a column by John Ferry, basically saying that, you know, Washington State legalized marijuana, and Mark Emery was sentenced in Washington State, and there's a guy who knows a lot about marijuana growing and marijuana production and a legal system of distribution. And Mark was nominated by John Ferry to be the consultant for the Washington State Liquor Control Board, who are seeking consultants to help them set up a legal system. So that was kind of a joking article, and Mark decided to write an application, kind of tongue-in-cheek, about why he would be the perfect person to help Washington State grow legal pot, even though he can't ever go to Washington State ever again once he gets kicked out of the U.S. when he finishes his sentence. But it's a pretty funny article listing all of Mark's accomplishments, and his blog about that, I've posted it. You can see it at cannabisculture.com and freemark.ca, and you'll be impressed, I hope, by Mark's resume and why he is pretty qualified, but we'll let the Washington State residents make sure they build the system that's best for them. Now, we had a get-together in January, I mentioned, for Michelle Rainey. We have a memorial bench set up, and this bench has been put out in Maple Ridge on Kanaka Creek. And I've made a little video on Pot TV, so if you're watching the Pot TV channel right now on YouTube, you can check it out. And you can also go to pot.tv and cannabisculture.com to see the tribute video of Michelle's bench warming out in Maple Ridge. It was a really beautiful event with a lot of people getting together and sharing some positive memories and sending up some smoke signals to Mishi, and that was a beautiful event. So check that out on our websites, and add a word or two of support for Jeff, who is getting through this all very strongly and bravely. Now, we had some news last Thursday that I didn't get to give you updates on because we were waiting for Friday morning to come around, and we had 2 court decisions that we were waiting for word about. The first is Chris Williams. He's facing a long prison sentence under federal law for helping distribute and grow medical marijuana, and that was in Montana. He has been sentenced to 5 years in federal prison. That's on a weapons charge, and the cannabis charge is time served. So that's good news, at least, that he's not been incarcerated on the cannabis offenses. But because of the way the U.S. justice system works, any weapons found in conjunction with a drug offense brings up a sentence, and a lot of people Mark is in prison with A lot of them are there for gun crimes, weapon crimes, and it's not that they used a weapon against anybody, it's just that there was a weapon, and that's what Chris Williams is being incarcerated for. But, you know, he might even get sent to Yazoo City medium security prison, so who knows, maybe Chris Williams will show up and be a fellow inmate with Mark in Yazoo, and if he does, I'm sure Mark will give him a very warm welcome. And I'm very sorry, though, that he's even going to prison at all. That's a travesty. That shouldn't be happening to him or anyone else, and we keep working to change that. So here in Canada, we had another court case. Matt Mernagh, dear friend, Pot TV and Cannabis Culture contributor, was awaiting the Ontario Court of Appeals decision about the medical marijuana laws and marijuana laws in general in Canada. Basically, he wanted to have his court case show that the laws restricting medical access are unconstitutional, but the appeals court said that there is no constitutional right to medical marijuana and that that decision previously made doesn't apply. It can be kind of complicated, but we've got great articles up at cannabisculture.com explaining it and breaking it down, and I know Matt is devastated because it was a loss. That was a negative ruling in so far as what we wanted, but you can check out all the news about that and videos and more at cannabisculture.com and pot.tv, and we'll get the links below for the articles. But I'm very sorry to Matt and to Chris and to everyone else who yesterday and the days prior were sentenced to prison, no doubt, for marijuana every single day. Right now, somebody in a courtroom is awaiting their fate too. So this goes on every single day, and we've got to keep fighting against it because no one should go to prison for pot in any way, shape, or form. And we've got some action being planned across Canada. Our friend Ted Smith, dear friend and activist out of Victoria, runs Hempology 101 university clubs educating about hemp, and published a book as well called Hempology 101. He's organizing a Fight the MMPR protests across Canada at our Member of Parliament offices. Now, there's a medical marijuana program in Canada, and it's federal. It's very flawed. There's all sorts of changes and debates and problems and progress, but you know, it's always a complicated issue. And these protests are against the proposed changes that say medical marijuana patients shouldn't be allowed to grow their own medicine anymore and shouldn't be allowed to have anybody grow it for them. They have to buy it from government approved sources. But you know, we've got to work on making sure that's a better law. But these protests and more information about it are being extensively covered at Cannabis Culture and Pot TV. If you go to the front page of CC, you'll find under the upcoming events a list and some information about this protest, and it's also a phone jam campaign. But you can go to www.fightthemmmpr.ca website, and you'll find information from Ted Smith and news about what you can do to get involved, and we'll be covering more of that at Cannabis Culture and Pot TV. And a lot of patients are very concerned and shouldn't be put through the stress of worrying whether they'll be able to grow their medicine. So we'll just keep fighting that in any way we can and take it to the courts, take it to the streets, do whatever we can to raise awareness and fight for our rights in every way we can get them. Other news in the United States, Congress is looking at two bills, legislation to legalize industrial hemp and legislation to make marijuana federally controlled and legal insofar as it would be moved from Schedule 1 to a different schedule, and the federal government would approve pot growers in states. Now, the DEA can do that now, and they aren't going to, but they would propose to transfer the power from the DEA to the ATF. Now, putting pot in with alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, I mean, that's an ugly crowd, but, you know, they're proposing that the government would allow states to set up legalization models. So there's good and bad to everything, as always, and that's very interesting that the debate is getting back into Congress. And I just want to give a shout out to Ron Paul, who originally proposed all this sort of legalization at a federal level. He's been behind it, and he's been working to get other people involved too. So Democrats and Republicans can be on our side, and recently Republicans are even supporting hemp and a lot more. So don't alienate anybody from any side of the political spectrum. Work with everyone who's on our side on this issue. That's what we've got to do. Now I'm going to do the draw. I know it's been a long show, and I've got a few names here for the free Mark Emery prize pack. And bubble bags and more, as always, are available at cannabisculture.com/store. We've got grinders and scales and rolling papers and hemp clothing and books and magazines and movies and cookie cutters and all sorts of fun stuff for Cannabis Culture's celebration. And right now, the winner of the free Mark t-shirt is going to be Harris B. You enter every week and you've won. I'm so excited for you. That's awesome. Simple and short. You're going to be the winner of the free Mark Emery stickers and button and t-shirt, and I'll be getting these out to you along with all the other prize packs that are awaiting. And thank you so much to everyone for emailing and sending messages and entering and watching the show. And happy Chinese New Year to everyone for Sunday. And I hope you guys have a great week ahead and get a little bit of sunshine and send Mark a nice little note for his birthday and celebrate love of friends and family and your fellow mankind on Valentine's Day. I'll be here next week. Maybe we'll have a special prize pack then too. So thanks for tuning in. No more drug war. Keep fighting the good fight, and I'll see you guys next week. Free Mark Emery.